You know when someone asks you to do something and you really don't feel like doing it, but you feel guilty if you don't, or maybe you think you're selfish if you don't. So maybe you hem and you haw and you give a half-hearted no that the person doesn't listen to, or you drag yourself along. In any of these scenarios, you're leaking your emotional energy. You're eroding your relationship with yourself, and you're also eroding your relationship with other people because nobody needs to feel like they're not being talked straight to. So in this video, I want to break down how to make those decisions and feel good about them so that you're excited about no matter what choice that you make. Let's explore what happens when you don't really say no fully. This happens when my son says a half-hearted no at 7 o'clock in the morning to my husband, who wants him to go hit softballs with him. And my husband just keeps on coming in like Tigger, hey, come on, get up, let's go. And my son's like, oh, no, oh, I don't feel like it, but doesn't really say it, right? You ever have that happen where you don't want to say no, so you give a sort of, well, maybe, maybe not. What a waste of energy that is on everyone's standpoint, right? The other thing that can happen is that you give in. So you finally say, okay, I'll do whatever it is. I'll pick up the extra work item. I'll go to the party, whatever the item is. And the whole time, how are you showing up? Victimized, annoyed, exaggerating how exhausted you are and how you don't have the time to do all these things, right? And then maybe you are calling a friend on your way to go do that thing and saying, ugh, you don't believe what I have to go do. And you're kind of at the same time venting, gossiping, and secretly saying, aren't I so great? I'm such a good person for doing this thing that I don't really want to do. Is that really your best self? In this first scenario, what you've done is you've depleted your own energy. You know, studies show that when we spend time in victimhood and resentment and judgment, that those are the highest sources of energy depletion. Science also tells us that there's a 3-foot parameter around our heart that is a field of energy. So if you are emitting resentment or annoyance or guilt, that's what other people are picking up. And maybe you're dampening the excitement of the person who asked you to do it, or there's just some unconscious communication that is being set. I mean, you know, sometimes it's an obvious communication because the person who wanted you to do whatever it does knows you don't want to do it. And you're literally sitting there with like a wall of energy between you. Oh, who needs that? Thirdly, you've betrayed yourself in 2 really important ways. You agreed to do something that you don't want to do. And secondly, when you showed up to do it, you showed up in what I would call a self-centered way, a way that's focusing on ourselves. It's not being thoughtful. It's not being gracious. It's more like, oh, I didn't want to do this, but here I am, right? And when we show up in that way, we don't like ourselves very much. Make no mistake, this is not about what you should do to be a good person in anybody else's eyes. My thing is all about, let's be someone that we're proud of being. And I know that when I show up that way, I am not proud of my behavior. I don't feel great about myself. And so now you've eroded the excitement of the person who asked you, perhaps. Here that person maybe even made themselves vulnerable by expressing their excitement or wanting you to be there or just asking for the favor. And now maybe they feel bad or guilty. Or maybe you ticked them off because you're doing what they asked, but you're being a sourpuss. So it's time to take a look at who you think you're being versus who you actually want to be. And if you want to enhance your relationship with yourself or others, if you want to live in integrity, if you want to really function as your best self most of the time, this is what you must do. You must make whatever you decide the thing you want to do. So in other words, you need to go all in no matter what you do. Let's break this down, okay? First thing, you look inside yourself and ask, do I want to do this? Very simple question. If the answer is no, okay, how much do I not want to do this? For what reason do I not want to do this? Is it because I'm being lazy and I'll actually feel better if I do it? In this case, maybe you would say yes. Is it something that you don't want to do so much and you're going to feel resentful if you do it? That is a hard no, because like we just said, resentment's going to deplete your energy. So let's say you look inside yourself, you ask yourself those questions, it's a no. Maybe you just don't feel like it. So what? So you don't feel like it. Great. Say no and go all in on your no. Don't play footsie. Don't push somebody off. Don't say, well, I would, but blah, 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 blah. You don't have to make excuses for why you don't want to do something that you don't feel like doing. Be clear and be kind, but say no. letting guilt rule you or thinking that you're so great for saying yes only to pout and sulk doesn't do a thing for anyone. Use each of these as an opportunity to practice unmemorizing guilt and resentment, an opportunity to practice what it feels like to not betray yourself, to communicate honestly and directly with someone else, and to treat another person with enough dignity to say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be a good companion for that. You'll really have more fun without me. I don't feel like going, and I'll be resentful if I do, and I don't want to be resentful. Or however you want to phrase it. This is great. Celebrate that. Go all in on that no. You have made a decision to honor and protect and respect yourself and to honor and respect the other person. You've preserved your energy, so you might be in a better mood when they return. So you want to celebrate this step toward becoming more of who you already are and spread that joy. Okay, alternatively, let's say you peer inside and you can't get over the guilt. You still don't want to go, but you just feel too guilty not to go. Or you decide you're being lazy and you should go, even though you don't want to go. Or it's just really important to this other person and you don't want to let them down. Great. Guess what? You can go all in on that too. You can make a choice to do something that you don't feel like doing simply because it's important to another person, because it's a good choice for your body. You can even make the choice to say yes because you know you're going to sit around feeling guilty if you say no and you don't feel like coming up against that guilt. That's all fine. But when you say yes and do that thing, go all in. You've made a decision to do it because essentially you want to do it. You want to do it because you don't want to feel guilty, or you want to do it because you love this person and you want to be supportive to them. And so you made a decision. You want to do it. So don't get up like my son used to do and drag his ass out of bed to try and go hit for dad because dad wanted to, right? When he was younger. No, get up and be like, okay, I made the decision to go because I want to, because it'll make him happy. And I'm happy when he's happy. It's fine. Go all in. If you're saying no, go all in. If you're saying yes, go all in. Understand that when you make a choice, you are always making a choice. You might not like the choices that you have, but you get to make that choice, and you get to make the choice that is the least offensive of the two. So celebrate that you're excited to do the thing that is less offensive than the other thing was. When you decide to go all in on your yes, even though you didn't feel like doing it, you are genuinely showing up happy and being of service. And you create genuine gratitude from that other person. You feel good about who you're being because it's genuine. It's not victim-y like, ugh, I had to do this. It's genuine. You made a choice to do it. It's not your ego pretending you're some great person for going ahead and doing it. No, you're going with a full heart, growing yourself. So those are some questions to toss around when you're trying to decide whether or not to do something and how to say yes or no in a way that is not betraying yourself, depleting your emotions and your energy, and being depletive to your relationship. Now, I hope that I've left you with enough energy to click the like button on this video, and we will see you next time.